Well, good morning and happy Friday. Welcome back to Beyond Swatches. We are primarily a knitting station channel, whatever over here, but it is spring and heading into hot weather season. And so I'm out in my garden this morning. I have really learned to appreciate being out here with nature. So I figured I would kind of walk you through what I have going on this year in the garden, so that you can keep up with it. So when hopefully the watermelons get big and nice and pollinated, you would have been here from the beginning and watched them grow. You'll also see how scatterbrained I am because of course I didn't label anything. Of course I thought I would remember and I'm not remembering where I put stuff. And then you know what the other problem is? Sometimes things take forever to germinate and I forget that I put seeds there and I just assume maybe there's nothing in there, and then something will start growing, but I've already planted some more seeds, so I don't know what seed is actually popping up. Yeah, it's a lot of that. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, nothing to write home about, right? This is my little humble garden. Husband cut the yard yesterday, so let's take a look. So first things first, my daughter bought me this hibiscus plant. I want to put it in the ground. I haven't done enough research to see how big it's going to get. So that's why I haven't put it in there. But the person that gave it to her, that she bought it from, said that it does love the sun. So we're just hoping that that's true. And I don't have to stick to a very strict watering schedule. It doesn't like to be overly wet. That's what I was told. Somewhere in here, possibly that is a corn. And what's interesting is that I did put 4 down here somewhere. But this is the only one that I see. So we're just going to go with that. We're going to let it do what it do. Let's see. I think I put some beans in here, but I don't know. And as you can see, I don't put any landscape fabric down. That's a watermelon. And I bought this one from the store because, as you'll see in a second, I was a little concerned that mine wasn't going to grow. So I got this one in from the store. Is this a Charleston gray? I think it's a Charleston gray. I don't remember. Anyway, when it comes up, we'll figure it out. But I also believe there's some beans in there. So, yeah. And this is more watermelons. Do I have too many in here? It's very possible. But I grew some last year. And what I know about these plants is that the foliage gets really, really big and viney. So I'm hoping that this trellis thing will help. Probably not. Because last year I just let them sprawl on the ground and I got 3 or 4 good watermelons out of it. So this is the one that I planted from seed from last year's harvest. Yep, last year's seed I put in there and it came back. It just was slow to move. These are ones that I got from the store. And I don't remember which is which. Oh look, a tag. It's a Jubilee watermelon. Okay, well now we know. Let's stick that back in there. And then over here, you see this? This is another seed that I had started. And it just, you see how little it is. It took forever to pop up. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's that. This is my little tomatoes. These are Roma tomatoes. That much I do remember. And the only reason why I know that is because I didn't want to do any slicing tomatoes this year, but I did want to try my hand at making some ketchup and kind of seeing how that goes, like ketchup and barbecue sauce and that kind of stuff. So I said I'll just do those 3. They look really, really good. I pruned off some of the suckers that's what they say anyway. I've read it a lot. I've seen it a lot, that doing it in the beginning kind of increases the plant's fruit production. So I did that. And from what I know from last year's tomatoes, the problem that I had was they got so bushy and so big that they were like uncontrollable. Now, I do know there's a difference between determinate and indeterminate. I have no idea what these are. I just picked them up. So With that being said, I figured leaving them in their own space in the middle of the ground this year instead of in a bed would be like kind of let nature do its thing. So that's what we're going to let it do. All right, let's get over here. Next is some basil that... Did I start this one from seed? No. The one I started from seed died because we had a weird heat wave. And it just killed all of the babies. So this one is from the store. But it's from the local farmer's store. And they grow them themselves. So not the Bonnie Bells. But, you know. This one is a creeping rosemary type of rosemary. And... let's see. This is some bee balm. Never heard of it. Never seen it. But I heard that it was interesting. So I grabbed one of those. Okay. Let's get over here. These are some repeats from last year. If you remember. This is my spearmint. My green-stalk towers, by the way. Which is what I started really growing in. I did like the idea of growing in all of this grass, but it was a little overwhelming for a city girl. So having a green-stalk towers really helped. Unlike last year, I took them off of my deck over there and I put them in the ground. If you hear the dogs barking in the background, they were the reason. Because every time I came out to mess around with the planters, they were barking and it was a little... less than ideal. So I just moved everything over here. I put them on the pavers, and these are 14 by 14 or whatever is the size over 12 by 12. I got them from Lowe's, and I have 4 of them. The towers themselves come in a stack of 5. The original planters come in a stack of 5, and then if you notice the size difference on that beige right there, that is part of the inventor's bundle, and it came with 3 short ones and 3 longer ones or deeper ones. And because of the wind that happened, I decided to bring my stacks down. So I have 3. I broke it up into 3s, and yes, now they don't match in color, but that's okay. The pockets all still work. My favorite, absolute favorite, is the pink and yellow. I just love those. They do have a couple of other colors that I'd like to get, but truthfully, as you can tell, I still have empty tiers. See, like over there, I got some more. There's like 3 over there, and there's still 2 here, and all of that came with these individual sets. So I still have a lot of planting pockets, and all of my pockets and all of these tiers are not full. So with that being said, we're not buying anymore, even though I really, really want to. Okay, so spearmint. These are scallions. Are they scallions or are they onions? I think these are just scallions that I did from seed last year. No. Yes. Matter of fact. Yeah, I didn't plant these. These just came back, I guess, from last year. Look, a piece of grass has made its way into my tower. These are some snapdragons. If you watch Yellow Door Urban Homestead, she has a couple of these up by the back of her house, I think. And I always like the way that they look. So this is what the beauties look like. And I got these from the Farmer's Garden Market thing as well. And they're called Short Snapdragon Mix. I don't know what color these are. They haven't sprouted yet, but I do have these pretty orangey red ones, and then there's white and there's a yellow somewhere. Oh, they over there. Let's see, we got some curled parsley, and this is some Greek oregano. So I've been plucking off of the oregano, kind of drying it out, using it fresh, all of that. That's the end of Tower 1. Here's some yellow snapdragons. I just plucked off, you know, they're dying, but you see the buds, they're starting to come back. So we'll take off the dead so that the next batch can grow in. Let's see. I think this is my sweet potato. Yes, these are my scallions again. I'm pretty convinced that this might be an onion under here. Trying to dig in and see. It might be an onion, but I think it's just a scallion, which is basically the top of an onion. But I can't remember. I think I planted green onion seeds, and maybe this is what I got. I don't know. These are some kind of pepper. Oh, wait, there's a tag. It's a California Wondersuite bell pepper. So there you go. So that's looking kind of cool. We got some almost seeds. Not seeds, almost fruits. Trying to pop up. See? This is another sweet potato. I had planted it in a different area and it wasn't looking too good, so I moved them over here to the tower, and I figured I'd give the sweet potatoes their own tier, and so that's what's in there. This is some rosemary that lasted through the winter. One piece of it died, and I was honestly going to pull it, but it was still attached. Like, I couldn't just snatch it out. So I was like, well, just leave it and see. It smells so good. Like, every time you brush up against it, it smells amazing. I love that. Oh, I'm so excited. This is the next tower that I done pieced together. So we either have calendula up here, which I have been using for skin oil. It's either calendula or it's chamomile, but I don't think it's chamomile because this is chamomile. It's interesting though, they haven't given me any flowers yet, but you see how big the stalk is, so it's definitely growing. It was much smaller than this, but I want to say this is the Greek chamomile. So I don't know if it just has a different growth pattern as far as the flowers go, but I have been cutting off the ferns and I've been grinding them up. Well, not grinding, but kind of mashing it down and using it in tea, and it tastes fine. I did plant a whole tier of chamomile and I haven't gotten any, which makes me think that's what this must be. But I don't remember putting it in a short tier. But it's possible I did. I don't know. This right here, science project, was a red onion that was in my refrigerator that started growing some white roots at the bottom. So I stuck it in some water in a mason jar. And the green tops sprouted within like a couple of days. So I ran out here immediately and put them in the dirt because that's what you do when you have a garden. This big bushel of whatever, these are potatoes. So these potatoes, this was a potato that was sitting on my counter and it started growing the little eyes. So I put it in the dirt and voila. I think there's 2 potatoes down there in that bottom tier. So for the potatoes, I wanted to give them a whole tier so they could just spread out and not have to share its space. So we'll see how that goes. This is an experiment for me this year because last year I did potatoes in a grow bag and they came out really well. I got about 8 pounds of potatoes, purple and white. So that's pretty cool. All right, over here, it's some other kind of pepper. So this is either a Hungarian hot wax pepper, or this is the twin to that sweet bell pepper. I just, again, don't remember. Okay, it might be this, a Cubanelle bell pepper, because when I planted it, I tried to put the 2s next to each other with the tag so that I could kind of remember, but we see what happened here. I don't know what happened, but she dead. Well, it's actually not dead. That's why I haven't thrown it away. You see this? To me, it looked like it's still trying. See that little green? So I refused to pluck it because I'm like, maybe there's something trying to grow out of it. So I just put some fertilizer in there and I watered it. And yeah, so we're going to hope for the best. All right, now it's getting a little messy because this stuff is kind of thick. It's either squash, cucumber, or zucchini. But it's huge and you can tell by the vines. Yeah, this one is a little overwhelming. I have to find some plant supports. They sell them. Did I show you them? Oh, do you see that green thing around the bottom tier? It's a plant support system. So you put it across and the plants can kind of hang over it and vine on it and things like that. I also have some trellising. What's the trellis? This is a trellis. They call this a tier plant trellis, I think. And it allows the plants to kind of like droop over and hang out. But these zucchini, squash, or cucumbers, whatever they are really... I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I think I hit the button when I was switching my hand. Anyway, yeah, they're really big. So I don't think that little trellis thing is going to work. I need to get the big boy. And I have another one somewhere. I just got to find the pieces. With that being said, these are peppers. These are some peppers. This is an eggplant. I don't like eggplant, but I've been told if you try different varieties that you may feel different. So I got, is this the Japanese eggplant? I think so. And then there's more peppers, because what's a garden without peppers? Some gardeners love tomatoes. I'm the one that loves the peppers. And I'm going to come through here a little later and kind of thin out these bigger leaves. And I just pluck off the big leaves that serves no purpose right now. They are good for shading, but that's just my experience. I have some serrano peppers apparently. They haven't started doing anything, but they in there. This is, oh, a hot pepper. Okay. Well, you look like you're struggling, so I'm going to point you towards the sun. Yeah, just a variety of peppers, and I really wish I did a better job of identifying what the heck I got going on, but I didn't, so you'll learn it with me. Look at this one though. I think this is some sort of acorn squash maybe type thing. Oh, hello bee, bug. Wait, are you a bad bug or a good bug? Bad or good? Okay, well, it flew away. He doesn't like the judgment. But I think this is some kind of an acorn squash. So that'll be good by September, I think. I think I saw 80 to 120 days for growth. There is another one down there. Ooh, Sylvie. All right, this tier, we did have a couple of nice looking strawberries this year, but it doesn't look like I got any more. I do have some flowers. Here are some beans, and they already doing their thing, so that's great. Interestingly enough, I did plant 2 beans per pocket, this whole bottom tier, and that one and this one is the only one that sprouted. So that's annoying, but it is what it is. This is another squash cucumber variety. I don't know. I think it's a cucumber. Let's see if there's a tag anywhere. No tag, but as you can see, it's growing all over. So I gotta get some support on it to kind of, otherwise what I'm afraid of is that it'll vine down and attach to the ground and I won't be able to rotate the tower. Not the end of the world, but that's not what I want. This is some lemon verbena. I've been using this for tea. It smells really good. Look, it's just growing all over the place. Just let nature do what nature do, right? But this one is lemon verbena. I really like the smell of this. It's good in a tea. It's wonderful. And I know you'd like to ask me, what are you growing over here? Oh my goodness, I have no idea. I think that's sage. I do remember sprinkling some sage seeds. I got them from Dollar Tree, you know, the little packets. And I think that's what I got over here. And this might be thyme. Do we look like we need to thin it out? Absolutely. Am I going to do it? Probably not. So that is Swiss chard, the rainbow variety. This is called berries and cream mint. So I put this in the bed thinking it's going to sprawl and take over. So why not have a lot of mint in the bed? But I only did that because I put these seeds in there and they weren't doing anything, so I thought I wasn't going to get nothing. And now the Swiss chard is growing and the mint is in here and it's doing so good. It looks amazing. But I also have some ranunculus flowers in here, the little corums, and I don't know exactly where about I planted them, but I think that's one right there. So yeah, this is a mystery. I don't exactly know. I know these two for sure, and I think I'm almost 80% positive that that's sage back there. And this, I think, is thyme. And see, I was trying to be a good girl by putting them at the front so that I could have some more space to put in the back. But I don't know. I guess I didn't anticipate getting a good germination rate on the Dollar Tree seeds because, you know, it's the Dollar Tree. So you're just like, oh, it's not going to grow. And truthfully, they grew really well. So I turn off my water hose. And last on the list, but not really, is this little bed over here. So I think these are squashes. Oh no, it's a bug. What is that? You see that? I don't know what that is. We'll have to look it up. Oh, I see a ladybug. I think it's a ladybug. Yeah. Okay. All right, so he's eating my plant, it looks like. And that's kind of weird. Look. I don't know what he's doing. Scary. But anyway, these are the plants. So I have a bunch of male flowers. I have no female flowers in here to pollinate. And the males are showing off. They hungry, y'all. Not to give you a whole biology lesson, but we need a male and a female. And I don't have them. So, yeah. So we're having a bunch of male testosterone with nothing to do. Is that one? Nope. Wait. Nope, that's a stem. Yeah, I don't have no females just yet. So in this bed, I put some collards. And again, they took forever to grow. So I was like, all right, well, nothing's in here. And I put this and now I have that. It's ginormous. And the last over here is the red cabbage. Excuse me. Getting shaded out. I have 3 in here. I never grew cabbage before. I think I put too many in here. But with that being said, this one has been attacked by the little caterpillar thing. So it's the sacrificial lamb. It's nothing else I could say about it. But they are starting to head up a little bit. So that's really nice. This one, that one is just gone. This one is looking good. But it's in the back. So yeah, so that is my garden for 2026. Right there is a peach tree. Let's zoom you in. That is a peach tree. And then that, see that greenery right there? That's the blackberry. Oops. And I have my knitting project. I'm making a cotton bag. And it's just like a little shape of a bucket bag. Yeah, so I'm going to sit here while the sun is rising. I'll probably open the umbrella for a little bit to kind of enjoy this side of the house. And yeah, I hope you have a great weekend. Oops, kind of close. I hope you have a great weekend. I appreciate you for stopping by. Yeah, so this is what I'll be working on usually in the mornings. Because this is actually turning into something that I love to do. It is very relaxing. And I'll come out here with like an audiobook, or I'll do my Bible reading, or I'll get on the phone with my best friend and we'll just kind of chop it up a little bit. But it's just fun watching nature do what nature do, you know. I think that is all. So yeah, enjoy your weekend. If you have a garden, let me know what you are growing. What is your pain point and what is your pride and joy? I'd love to know. And then if you are knitting with me, what are you knitting on this year or this summer, spring, summer with this hot weather? Yeah. I'm really most looking forward to my watermelon. I'd really love to see some corn grow, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Anyway, all right, enough rambling. I'll talk to you later. Bye.